These little end things aren't really structural, they're just sort of decorative, and the reason I did them is because you can see that what gets exposed from these boards isn't really all that nice to look at. On some of these it's even rougher. Those are examples of what it looked like before I cut it, but over here you can see that's what it looks like. I don't really like that, and I don't really want to have to finish it because I'm never going to be able to match whatever kind of funky finish this is. So these mahogany end caps will cover that. I think they'll provide kind of a nice decorative detail too, and I'll be doing more with those. In the meantime, I cut these notches in these panels so that these joints would be extra strong. I'm going to join this up a little bit later after I put the floor in. So I cut this, and it's pretty much exactly the size of the box. The objective now is to remove some of the material from each side and then to cut a slot in the four walls of the box in order for the floor to have something to receive it. Okay, so now I want to cut the slot in the floor so that it fits into the walls, but it's complicated. It's math, and I have never been very good at math. Math is hard for me. So here's what I got to do. This thing, this part of the piano was actually the part that faces you, that your sheet music leans up against when you sit down at the piano. The other part that I made the sides from, that was like kind of like where your feet are. Anyhow, this thickness is 15/16 inches. It's a weird size, right? So what I want is to leave 3/8 of an inch to insert into the walls. So what I got to do is I got to calculate how much to remove thickness-wise and how much to remove in this way, right? It's math. It's all sorts of math. And because we're stupid in this country and we don't use the metric system, it's all sorts of dumb fractions. Ugh. But I got to figure it out. Because math. So it's going to be 9/16 height on that dado stack. And I'm going to remove 7/8 inches from each side on the width and 7/16 inches, or 7/8 on the length, 7/16 on the width. Boom. Let's do it. Okay, well that's done. Now I got to cut the slots in the walls of this thing. But as you can see, fits in there nicely. It won't sit like this, obviously. I'm going to cut some slots in these walls so that it'll nest inside there. One thing I think is important to do when you cut something like this is to overcut a little bit. You don't want a zero tolerance fit. So when I cut this thing, you'll see the ends are overcut a little bit. No matter, it'll be fine. Well, the floor's in and it worked out pretty well. I'm happy with that. What I'm not happy with is the way these corners came together. As you can see, there's this gap here. That's just not acceptable. So the way we do that, the way we're going to fix that, is we're going to remove a little bit of material from this side right here. And it's tricky because we want to make sure that the dado stack that removed this material is exactly this depth. And we just want to shave off about a 32nd of an inch, which is tricky. I wonder how a pro would do that. Same situation here and here and here too. So the good news there is whatever we do on one should work on the others. But aside from that, it's working out pretty well. I've got a kind of decorative detail in mind for down here. We'll look at that later, but for now, before I call it quits today, I'm going to try to fix this.